We wish you some
you
figgy
a
pudding. Oh, just
Not
kidding.
what I expected. We wish you some figgy pudding.
It's been a while since I've sung A Christmas Carol. Oh yeah, because it's we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
and then it goes on. Well, bring us some figgy pudding.
Well, bring
Okay.
us some figgy pudding. That's what I didn't expect you to go into the second verse.
It was just I was just making sure you and everyone else at home, listening, watching, they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Testing.
And lots of good cheer. Welcome, everybody.
To the Harris-Elmore and Genoa Libraries podcast with me, Ariel, and Sierra.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed our beautiful, beautiful serenade to you this morning, singing We Wish You Some Figgy Pudding.
Maybe if you're going to perform in front of a live audience, maybe make sure you know the words first.
You were so fully committed to it, though. I love that energy.
That's the one thing I've learned in band. Like, if you're going to play a note wrong, you better hit that wrong note hard.
Fully commit to it. Hey,
That's
it's
right.
Christmas
Good ear
month,
quality.
and we're excited. 'Tis the season for all things hot chocolate, singing Christmas carols out of tune. Way too much sweet food. I've already started packing out the pounds, so that's awesome sauce.
Love food.
Yeah, and for watching way too many Hallmark movies. They all end the same, but you know you're going to watch every single one of them. I do the same thing. I have tons of them recorded. I bought some the other day. I was in Kroger, and they have 3 packs for $14. And
now,
of course, I bought one of them.
Now, do you have Netflix at home?
I do.
So there's one Christmas movie that I have been hitting on blast, and it might not even be in Christmas, but I just enjoy it. I don't know why, but I'm not over it. And it's that Princess Switch one with Vanessa Ann Hudgens.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Oh, she is keeping Netflix alive for the holidays.
Oh, seriously?
They made 2 of them already, and now they're releasing a 3rd, and I'm so excited.
I'll have to go back and watch that one. There is a couple Netflix movies Christmas movies that I like, but we can get to that in a second because that kind of goes. I wanted to show everybody our sweaters. For those of you listening, we can describe them to you. Mine's super ugly. It's red. It has shoulder pads. It's vintage, and it's got Santa Claus on the front. But for those of you watching, we definitely wanted to give you a little taste of what we're wearing to keep us in the Christmas spirit. You can see how ugly my Santa sweater is.
I like him though.
Look at his dead eyes. He has dead shark eyes. And it's fuzzy, like his beard and the white part, it's all fuzzy.
I love that though. I could get down with a sweater like that.
The rest is like all satiny, like the present, his mittens, it's satin. And then these are buttons. There's star buttons sewn all over it and little red stars.
Now, my question for you is the sweater scratchy to wear? Because that's always my problem.
It is. It's insanely scratchy. I had another shirt on underneath, but it looked really funny and it was bunchy, so I took it off. So I have an undershirt, but like it's touching my shoulders and like my bare arms, and it's just like it's not the most comfortable shirt, but it's authentic and I love it because it's awful. I have to wear it every year.
I love that. Mine's not so much like that. Mine's more of a t-shirt style. It is an olive green shade, and it has like a big circle in the front, and it has Santa and his reindeers, and it says Believer on it. I actually just bought it at Makers on Main, so thank you for having this shirt because I think it's really cute.
Yeah, shout out. Give everybody some business.
Heck yeah. I always like shopping local. I just think it's there's so many cute things and fun people to talk with. And
yeah, that's what I have friends that live in Florida, and we were just talking about my sister's store uptown. I say this all the time, but if y'all haven't shopped at Elmore General Store yet, you really should. She's got something for everybody. And I had told my friends, I told my friends in Florida, I'm like, I'm gonna go to her store and buy you guys your Christmas presents there. And I just went there and I picked up some fudge. I got them Cookie Monster popcorn. She's got
Ooh.
little like Christmas spatulas for doing your baking. There's tons of food dips if you like cracker dip, or you can put it on bread or something. She's got tons of delicious dips. So
I'm a sucker for a good dip.
and it's Christmas time, so she's currently giving out free samples of her products. So you're totally missing out if you don't go down there.
Oh, I love a sample.
Yeah, I was in there earlier. She's got samples of her green apple popcorn, which is really good, by the way, and her chocolate fudge. So
Yummy.
super delish. Excuse me as I try to get comfortable. As I make weird noises and I try to get comfortable. Okay, so.
Snow's coming.
Did you say what's coming?
Oh, snow.
Snow. Oh, yes. This is the perfect time of year because people are actually okay with snow being on the ground. And people usually wish for a white Christmas. If it doesn't snow on Christmas, they're like, what's even life anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because we already had our first official snow of the year, and all I heard was complaints. People
What?
are like,
Really?
They're like, it's cold, it's wet, I don't want to be outside. It's on that day it was snowing. I was home alone, so I went and I found a big blanket. I went and set it on the back steps of my house, and I sat outside and just let the snow cover me. It was in my hair, it was touching my face. I loved it. I loved it. I love snow.
I love that. I thought it was pretty when I woke up. I was like, oh my gosh, it's snowing. I was like, it's here, it arrived.
Right? It's just, it makes you so like happy. It's like such a different feeling. You like see it for the first time and it like wakes something up inside of you that you didn't realize has been sleeping.
It's like so purely innocent, like nature's beauty, where it's like you're encapsulated in this snow globe of like, and it was like kind of flaky snow too. So when it first started, so it just delicately falls and it's not turned into brown or hasn't made the water puddles yet. And
it's still
I
innocent.
thought it was pretty.
I love the sound of snow, if that makes sense. You know, when
the crunching?
it's like when it's falling. So just imagine like it's late at night, everybody's gone to sleep, there's almost no traffic on the roads.
Oh, like
and
the still of it?
You step outside and it's insanely quiet and you can just hear. It's not like rain, it's completely different than rain. It's like the really soft falling flakes hitting stuff as it comes down, hitting the leaves, hitting your porch, hitting your coat. It's so quiet, but you can hear it and it's just the most beautiful noise. It's one of my like favorite things in the whole world is listening to snowfall when it's really quiet out.
That's what I always liked in college when I would walk. And my university was in the snow belt and there'd be so much snow. And I would just like take a minute and just like stand there and people would be like, what is wrong with you? But like, I feel the same way. It's totally different.
And I want to like clarify, I guess, a little bit. Nobody enjoys shoveling. So
No.
when we say that we love snow, we're not talking about the snow that you have to shovel 5 feet of just to get to your car. That's a totally different thing. But like just snow falling, like when after it's shoveled and you have perfect paths and you can just go outside and you can sit and enjoy it, or you can build a snowman. Like it's beautiful. You can never convince me that snow isn't beautiful.
Right. I would almost like give it the name of Hallmark ready is what.
Yes.
Because like ready for that perfect scene, ready to go.
Yeah.
Everything's picturesque. Your boots
I'm
aren't
waiting for
soaked
like
in.
my perfect, like my life to play out like a Hallmark movie, because then everything's gonna be perfection, you know? Well, you'll get to go ice skating. You'll probably build a gingerbread house. You'll either build a snowman or have a snowball fight.
Yep.
You're gonna have hot chocolate. They usually go ice skating. Did I say ice skating? They always go ice skating.
Yep.
You'll have like
cookies. That's always
You'll bake cookies. You'll have one really big fight. and like a misunderstanding, which you'll then get over, and then you'll be perfectly in love for the rest of your life. I'm waiting for that.
Well, listen, I got the movie for you. A Princess Switch. Just hit that real quick.
Oh, really? Okay, so Netflix. Yes.
Yeah, and luckily for you, when you're starting to, hopefully, if you like it still, the third one comes out, I think December 14th, I think, or maybe it's
Okay.
November. Oh no, it might have been this past week.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
14th was yesterday.
yeah, so it's either November or December. So
Okay. You know what else comes out in December that I'm really looking for? The Witcher season 2.
I saw that yesterday.
I'm so excited. So, anyways, we're not here to talk about The Witcher, but we are here to talk about Christmas movies. So we've mentioned it a couple times. And if you're like us, we already started watching Christmas movies. I was watching it way before Halloween, watching a couple Christmas movies. I like to watch Elf year round. I'm sure lots of other people do, or maybe you have your other favorite movie that you love to watch year round that's Christmas related. What's up?
Santa!
Yes.
I know him.
Oh my God, I did that in a store once. I was around just like my family, and I screamed it out. I'm like, oh my God, Santa! And the lady down the hall, or like down the aisle from us, gave us the dirtiest look, like I was too old to be freaking out about Santa or something. Oh, it was so embarrassing. And my mom was laughing.
Funny.
She's like, I cannot believe you did that. Oh my God, that was
Yes,
great.
it's fun. I think it's such a fun movie, and it's just fun. 10
Yes.
a.m. Santa Claus
10
is
a.m.
coming
Santa's
to
coming
town.
to town. Oh yeah.
Which I did not know in Elf. Apparently, so the guy that says that line, that guy was not meant to be there. That character was supposed to be played by Wanda Sykes, and
The
if
store
you look at his
manager?
name tag, yeah, and if you look at his name tag, it still says Wanda on it. Like they just kept it that way.
What?
I learned that the other day, and I was like, what?
Oh, I
Like
have to go back and rewatch that. I didn't know that. I
that's
love
what the
weird movie
interwebs have told
facts.
me.
Those are always cool though. There's
I like watch.
I know, I was gonna say I watch reels on Instagram a lot, and there's this one guy that does like weird things in movies that didn't get cut that you didn't realize like weren't supposed to
Yeah.
happen. I love stuff like that. So, but yeah, in the spirit of Christmas movies today, we're going to talk all about our favorites, maybe our favorite TV episodes of things that are Christmas related. And for me personally, the utterly horrible ones that I never ever want to see again. There are just some Christmas movies out there that shouldn't exist. Or they do, and some people probably like them. And I want to ask you why. Why would you like that? Oh,
I just thought of another one while you were speaking, so I'll be curious to see.
I know, I should probably I might do this too. I might look it up on my phone so I can read you the synopsis of some of the awful ones. But then I
See if
also,
can guess.
well, ooh, that'd be a good idea. See if you can guess what the awful ones are.
Yeah.
But I'm always overly organized. So Ariel and I were talking about we're gonna talk about our favorite Christmas movies. And I'm like, well, these are my favorites. I've got a list. I have the not favorites, but I still watch them every year because I still really like them. They just make the favorites cut. And then I have the hated it list. So I am curious to see if we correlate on any of our favorites or anything though, or the ones that I absolutely have to watch every year.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna guess no on the first one. So I'll just start out and say my favorite Christmas movie of all times is Thomas Kincaid's Christmas Cottage.
Really? I've never seen that one.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it has Jared Padalecki and Peter O'Toole, and I love it. It's just so good. And it's based on a real story. It's based on Thomas Kincaid's actual life and his mentor, Glenn, that lived behind them, who was played by Peter O'Toole in the movie. It's heartfelt. It's one of those movies that it just makes you feel. And because he's a painter, I just feel very connected to it because I am also a painter. And I love the feeling of seeing the backstory of what inspires a painter to paint the way he did. So
I wrote it on my list.
yes, you have to watch it. If you haven't watched it, you really need to watch it. And I'll say really, really quick, for December, we're having movie night at the library. You can check out our, I forgot what it's called. We do a separate video that's just all of our programs and stuff coming out monthly. So when the December one comes out, you can check that out and see what day we will be watching another one of my favorite Christmas movies called Nativity. And it is a British TV movie, and it's just so funny. I feel like not enough people know about it. But it's like nothing you've ever seen before, the way that this school is putting on their nativity. I don't want to give too much away, but it's hilarious, and you'll love Mr. Poppy by the end of it. I'll just leave it at that.
I like it. One of mine that I will watch all year round. I have no qualms because the way that the movie starts, it works up to Christmas. And so they're not like in a Christmassy setting right away. It's called White Christmas, which it is an older film. So it has Bing Crosby in it. I can't remember the other guy's name. I've only watched it 40 bazillion times. Thank you.
Danny Kaye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's second on my list because it's so close to the top. I love White Christmas.
We watch that all the time.
Yes.
My family and I would be like, what should we watch? White Christmas. If they ever take it off of Netflix, I will have to buy the DVD. But I just put that sucker on blast.
Yeah, I do have that one. Have you ever seen Holiday Inn?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, it's very similar how it's got Bing Crosby, but his partner in it, the like other leading actor, is Fred Astaire. So you get like way more dancing in there. There's a ton of new songs, Christmas songs and stuff.
I enjoyed that one, but White Christmas I definitely go to more often for sure.
Yeah.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
They're both very good. I do like the old ones. That's what, like, not my fave, but I still watch every year, would be Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh,
and that actually starts at Thanksgiving too. I mean, you got the Thanksgiving Day parade to start it out and everything.
Yeah.
So that's still a really good one. I still probably watch every year, but I like the old version. I like the original, not so much into the new one. No offense to anybody that loves that one. But
no shame to you. I don't know if you've heard this one because this one's also an older one. It's called It Happened on Fifth Avenue.
Okay, well, I had it checked out of the library for like 4 weeks, and it eventually, like, I had to give it back. So I never got a chance to watch it. I've never seen it.
I highly recommend, if you're subject to black and white films, this is not for you, but I still recommend you watch it. It is just like a good heartfelt movie. You're in New York City. They come across this guy that they find this guy when they're down on their luck, and so this guy like takes him in, and so they feed him, and they kind of build this relationship and build it on feel goods for Christmas. But I don't want to give anything away, but it's a really good film, and it's kind of like interesting how the characters' relationships develop and how it ends and just the whole story. So it's interesting.
That reminds me of 2 movies actually, and I didn't write them down, and I probably should have. The one is Christmas in Connecticut. Have you seen that one? One of my other coworkers, like, she loves it, and she finally got me to watch it. And it's like that, it's black and white, but this lady, she's a journalist. She writes a panel for this newspaper, and she writes it like she's older, she's married, she's got kids, she lives on a farm, she's a great cook. And in reality, that's all like fantasy. She's single, she lives in a little crummy apartment, she doesn't have any kids. But this military man loves her stories, and he loved the thought of like spending Christmas out at her big farm with her family. And he's sent home, and he's in the hospital, and they decide like, well, he should have a real proper Christmas. So they contact her, and they're like, can you house this soldier over the holidays at your big farm? And her like manager and everything is like, this would be great, you should do it, I'll come join you. Because he doesn't realize that she's been lying forever.
Oh no!
Her friends agree to help her and everything, and they have this guy come in, and it's fantastic and
That
wild
sounds
and
great.
crazy.
It
And the
made the
other,
list.
I know, and the other one I was going to mention is Shop Around the Corner. Have you seen Shop Around the Corner with
It doesn't sound
Jimmy
familiar.
Stewart?
Nope.
So have you seen You've Got Mail, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan?
Yep.
The inspiration for that movie was kind of loosely based on Shop Around the Corner. And there's actually a third movie that has kind of the same feel about it, the way they're like, they kind of prejudge each other, they don't really like each other, but they're writing letters and they don't realize that it's the same person that they're writing letters to.
Oh, I
Kind of
love
like,
that
and You've
type
Got
of
Mail,
stuff.
like they're sending emails back and forth, but in real life they don't like each other, and they end up falling in love and realizing it's the same person they've been writing. But yeah, it's just like You've Got Mail, but it's much older. It's got Jimmy Stewart in it, so no, it's good. He's never played in a bad movie.
That one I wrote down on my list as well. Which is perfect because with the house that we're taking care of right now, I'm gonna have a lot of time on my hands, so this will be perfect.
Yeah, put Christmas movies in and just continually watch them. We do that usually
Absolutely.
like Christmas Day or even on Thanksgiving. Like if we're just hanging out at the house, we'll just put movie in after movie and we just sit and listen to them. Ones that we've seen a lot, like they're still good, but who else watched Elf every single year, multiple times a year?
Well, let's go. So, like, what are your top reruns? Like for me, White Christmas, yes. I have it
Yeah,
on Fifth Avenue, yes. Home Alone, yes.
yes.
Love, love,
The
love.
Santa Claus with Tim
Yes.
Allen for sure. The Grinch.
Oh, yep, that's a good one.
We usually do While You Were Sleeping. It
Oh, is
still
that a
counts.
Christmas
It
movie?
counts the Christmas movie. It does take place over Christmas and then into the new
Oh,
year.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have
So
you, this is kind of obscure. So, like, I growing up remember seeing like certain Christmas movies that were like claymation or really old. So like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, love
yes.
that. The Year Without Santa Claus, Heat Miser, Snow Miser,
Yeah.
love them. My
I
favorites.
I've never I It's been so long since I've watched that one, but kind of
Oh
in the
yeah.
same vein of things, the claymation version of Jack Frost does
Oh
not
yep.
it does not get enough love. People don't know what it is. When you say Jack Frost, they're like, "Oh, Michael Keaton," and I'm like, "No, not the weird movie where he died and get turned into a snowman. No, I'm talking the claymation Jack Frost.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Word.
does not get enough love. I love it.
No, I honestly, and I think some people are like claymation. I'm like, do you know how hard that is to make a claymation?
Right?
Like
Like,
it's
oh my
insane.
gosh. Yeah, anything by Aardman. I like Aardman films.
And have you seen the one claymation where I think it's called it's not the new year, but it's deals with happy. He's supposed to be the the baby that welcomes in the new year to like
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I might have to look up. I might
I
have
know.
to
I'm
get
like, let me try to find that. Oh no. How do I even do that? Claymation Baby New Year?
yeah.
It's Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
Oh,
And
okay, yeah, yeah.
it has Baby New Year in it. And he's got like the humongous ears.
Yes.
Poor Baby New Year has gigantic ears.
Yes, and there's one other claymation which I have not been able to find it on DVD. It was made, I believe, in the 80s, and it is a claymation and it is called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. And so it goes through of like the story of Santa and how he like started making toys for kids and how it was like not a good thing and how he met like Mother Nature and Father Time in the woods and like how it was a big thing. That one I would like to watch again. I know some people are
I've
probably listening or watching and they're like, "Girl, you're crazy," but it's a thing.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it now. I've never seen this one before, and it was out in 1985.
I only have seen it a few times, and it would show up like one of the late like 10 p.m. showings on like ABC,
Yeah.
and like when ABC used to be like a regularly broadcasted thing on cable.
Mm-hmm.
But now everybody has streaming, well, large majority do.
Do you also try to watch like the Charlie Brown Christmas stuff? I love Charlie Brown's
Yeah,
Christmas.
it's
And
so
I
good.
don't think I ever got to watch it last year,
Or The
but it's
Great
still,
Pumpkin, that's a good one.
I didn't watch Great Pumpkin either.
That one's my favorite. I think it's only my favorite though, because growing up near
Hmm.
Cedar Point is like a big thing about Snoopy and all the characters. And
Right.
Snoopy had his boutique, and so you'd like go into the doghouse store, and then it would be like the huge pumpkin patch, and there you have to
Oh,
like run through
that's
the spooky trees.
cool.
They don't really have it anymore, which is really upsetting to me. I think that was my favorite, but that's a different holiday. We're here for Christmas, snow and Christmas trees and pines and sneezed on by reindeers, all that good
Sneezed
stuff.
on by reindeers? Yeah, okay.
I haven't been, but my sister has.
Seriously, I love the noise reindeer make when they walk.
They're
Like
just fun.
the vocal noises are really cool too, but reindeer have really weird knees. So their knees pop and click when they're walking, and it's how they keep track of each other when it's dark or foggy,
Oh,
is their
oh,
knees
that's
clicking.
oh, oh, that's so sweet. It's like,
I know,
oh,
right? It's how they keep track
I
of
was
each other.
I was feeling bad. I was like, man, that's gotta hurt. I bet you got some arthritis. But now I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
I
Like
know, that's yeah. No,
keeping tabs on each other.
reindeers are better than people.
It's so true, Sven.
It's true.
It's
Reindeers
so
are better
true.
than people. All right. I was gonna mention like we were talking about TV specials because Charlie Brown is kind of like TV specials. Have you seen the
Yes.
SpongeBob Christmas episode?
Mm, it's been a long time since I've watched SpongeBob.
The
I
Christmas
don't
episode is so, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's fun. It's magical. The song that's in it. Um, it's SpongeBob's very first Christmas. So
hmm.
he wants to go visit Sandy, and she's got lights on her tree, and he freaks out and thinks her tree's on fire. So he tries to help her put
Oh,
the tree out, and she's like, it's Christmas. Like, how have you never heard about Christmas? And so she like explains everything to him, and he is just like awestruck. He's never seen something so brilliant. So he makes all the fish in Bikini Bottom and all his friends write letters to Santa and everything. And then I love it. It's one of my favorite SpongeBob episodes. It's just so it's different than all the other ones. And it was before SpongeBob got weird. Like the newer seasons are
yeah,
not
they've taken
good.
a turn. I always wonder if that's just because like we're older or, like
I
did it
don't
really
know. I know. Is it really as bad as I think it is, or is it because I like the original?
Yeah, I feel that way with a lot of shows where I'm like, well, like they're redoing The Proud Family. Okay, I do not
Are
like
they
how they
really?
well, I've read online that they're like prepping to redo it, and I've seen some like side by side comparisons of like the art from the original to what they're
Yeah.
looking at now, and it just is like I don't like it. I usually am a fan of the original, like the
Yeah.
first Santa Claus, my favorite. I love that.
I feel like
I'd
there's
watch
certain
that
stuff that
one.
doesn't need remade. Like old TV
Yeah.
shows like that. Like The Proud Family was cool. I liked that. You don't remake that. You don't remake things like Kim Possible or anything like that. Like, would you consider doing that? Why?
Yeah, and I don't know if they like did that to like because I've also heard that they want to do like a live action of the Proud Family. So
Really?
I don't know if they're gonna follow through with any of this or like it's just people starting stuff online because fake news is all over the place. But they shouldn't do
That's
that
weird.
because it's a good show.
I feel like, yeah, it's been long enough now that I feel like if they were to do a live action, they should have done it closer to the time when it was still on television, if that makes
Well, and
sense. You know what I mean?
yeah, and but I think like they do this so like people like us that have grown up with it, we get nostalgia for it. And then we're like,
Oh,
yes, I want to see that. But like when they made that Kim Possible movie, I'm sorry. That
that's
does
no.
not
That it
no.
didn't look like her. It didn't work. They're even doing that with Nancy Drew and stuff. Like I didn't necessarily grow up with the originals, but as a kid, I read a lot of the originals. See, like they were
Mhm.
a lot older, so they were before my time. But like when I was a kid, I loved reading the older ones. And then I would read some of the newer ones where like she had case files. She did a lot of stuff with the Hardy Boys. They had like smaller books. And I like that they're doing things that are a little easier for kids nowadays to read. So there's still Nancy Drew, but there's some of them that are like they're making it really, really childish, or even like some of the newer movies they're making, they
Yeah.
don't look anything like Nancy. They're not classy and
Yeah.
vintage like she was, and I don't like that. I don't like the modernization of something that was so classic that it didn't need to change.
Yeah, I would agree. That's like may I skip ahead for just one moment?
Sure, do some skipping.
I would love to skip ahead. Let me hit that skip button. Um about redoing like movies all the ding dong day. One of my non-favorite movies, A Christmas Carol. And I know the people are
Oh,
probably highly upset with
yes.
that.
No,
Now, I enjoy the Christmas Carol. I understand like where it comes from. I love the message. If they hadn't like redone this movie so many times, I would probably watch it way more often. But since there's so many remakes between like Disney and other studios
yes,
and so many different actors, that's why I would classify it as not like a huge Christmas favorite, just
yes.
because I've seen it done so many times.
Sorry, I just broke my chair or something. The handle was, sorry, the handle was, it was really weird. I think maybe I fixed it actually.
Nice.
I
Good
did
save,
not
good
realize
save.
it was gonna make such a loud popping noise. I apologize. Sorry.
You're good. No,
Um,
that was my spiel.
no, I feel
Because
the same way. And the only version of it that I will watch is the George C. Scott version.
George C. Scott version.
Yeah,
I'm
look
wondering
that
if
one
that's
up. People out there listening, look that one up. The George C. Scott version is the only one that I accept.
ah,
And
yes. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with you.
he plays the best Scrooge out there.
Yes.
And I
I didn't
don't
realize
find
that's his name.
the ghosts are not ultra freaky. If you've ever seen the version with Patrick Stewart, my God, that's horrifying. I hate their versions of the ghosts. They are just freaky beyond freaky. I hate that version. And it has nothing to do with Patrick Stewart. Like he's still great actor, spot on. I hate everything else about that movie. It's just
Yeah.
bad.
Isn't it funny how like certain things can like you're like, ooh, that movie
Yeah.
like ruins it for you.
And it's weird because like on my not favorite movies, but I still tend to watch it every year, is Scrooged, which is the same exact concept.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
haven't
got a darker, twisted spin to it. And it's Bill Murray. Need I say more?
honestly, I've only watched that movie a couple times. That's not an every year movie for me. I should watch that this year.
I do, but along the lines of like non-traditional twisted Christmas movies is Gremlins. Have you watched Gremlins for a Christmas movie?
Yes. For a long time, I didn't know that Gremlins was considered a Christmas movie.
Yeah, so his dad bought him Mowgli, the little gremlin, for a
Yeah.
Christmas present.
And I was like, oh. Um,
Yes.
which I think it's so interesting. I need to see the last Gremlins because I watched like the first two and then I was like, oh.
I've only ever seen the first one. I've never watched the whole series.
I'm
Because
thinking there's three, unless
I believe there
I
is. I tend to not like seconds and thirds of certain movies, especially like that, where it's like the first one came out, everybody loved it because it was so
yeah,
different. And then they're like, let's make a second one. The second one's usually terrible. So
yeah.
I didn't even.
Which one movie I will say, because it deals in the same decade and stuff, I have beef. Just because they remade Gremlins. Now, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think what would have been a really good sequel film, there should have been a Goonies 2 where they like find another treasure or something. I would have
Yes,
loved to see that.
they could have because they would have grown up a little bit. They would have been a little bit older. Yes. I adore the Goonies, and they could have done. I want to wave too. Who are we waving at?
No, so today's my birthday, and my mom and sister are standing out the window waving with a balloon and a flower. I'm just gonna hit pause for 1 second, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Look how beautiful these are.
Oh, those are really pretty.
There's hydrangeas and little pink roses. And my sister got a balloon, and it says, "Happy birthday."
I love it. All the Toy Story characters.
That's funny. And then she bought this lipstick that I really liked from the Hocus Pocus line. And she got me this cool like hand mirror, and it's a cat and it has like Binks on it on the back.
Oh, so cute.
And like we tried to go to the desk, but they were like, "You're recording the podcast." And so they were like, "Go to the window outside and maybe she'll be able to stop it." So they were knocking on the window.
What would have been the difference if they came to the door or if they came to the window?
It was just really funny. They were like, "We just wanted to bring you this. We didn't know you were going to be recording the podcast."
Oh, that's so funny.
That was so sweet.
Did they listen to it?
Yeah, like I'll tell like my sister, I'll be like, "Hey, this is a prime one right here." Or I'll tell her what we're recording.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's funny.
Oh.
See, minor interruptions that have family involved and sometimes presents are always welcomed.
Yeah, 'tis the gift of, well, it's my birthday. I mean,
it's your birthday.
Well, yours was just a day ago.
It was.
Oh, Lord. Oh, okay, one more time. Anywho, Christmas.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the last thing was we were actually talking about. Good luck to Nathan to edit all of the little mishaps.
I'm so sorry, Nathan. But
it
was really sweet.
Yeah, I don't know if we were done talking about something or if we were still discussing a certain movie or not. But I was gonna. What?
We were talking about movies remade so many times.
Oh.
I think. How about we segue into ones that we don't like?
Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say something about those Netflix ones too, but we can circle back around.
Oh, I do like those Netflix ones. There's some good ones.
Have you ever heard of the movie called On the Second Day of Christmas?
Mm-mm.
Of course not. It's because it's terrible. Everybody hates it. Nobody watches it.
I was just gonna say, is this part of the don't like list?
Yeah. So it's a 1997 film. And it says, I'll read you the description. A woman and her niece are caught stealing just before Christmas and face the prospect of spending a festive season in the care of social services until a kindly shop worker volunteers to put them up.
Oh.
That sounds nice, right?
Super nice.
They kind of glazed over a few things. They're really horrible thieves, for one. Why is this woman teaching her niece that it's completely okay to steal stuff? For two, they go into apartment stores and she's teaching her how to be like a perfect little pickpocket, stealing people's stuff around Christmas. Yeah, like she's saying it's okay and stuff. So like horrible. That's horrible. Because she's like the guardian of her niece.
Oh my gosh.
So, I get it. Some people fall on hard times. Please don't steal stuff. Please don't. That's awful. And like, don't do that to kids and tell them that that's okay. And so, yes, they get caught by the security guard who sees them stealing because they're so bad at it. And of course, they go to court. And it's funny because they're upset about it. Like, don't send us away. You were
what did you think
stealing and you got caught, right? Because then she starts freaking out. Like, she doesn't want to get separated from her niece, you know, the only, you know, caretaker of this child. So when it says a kindly shop worker volunteers to put them up, it's the security guard that caught them stealing. And I don't remember him volunteering. I just remember like whatever the court saw it as like the right thing or something. So they're like, you're now the guardian of these two people, keep them out of trouble, and they have to live in his house. Yeah. And so I don't I don't know how it happens. I know Hallmark movies usually only take a few days and they're like, oh, they fell in love. This one's just dumb. It's not Hallmark and it makes no sense. Like there's no reason for these two people to fall in love at all. Like there's no storyline for it. It's horrible. And like towards the end of the movie, she's falling for him or something, but she doesn't want to admit her feelings. I just remember both of them.
Classic.
They're at like this mall and they're both going up the escalators, or like she's going up one and he's running up the down on the other side. And he's just going, I love you so much. I love you. And the acting's horrible, by the way, because I think the script is really bad. So they didn't have anything good to work off of. And
Oh boy.
yes. Do you want the final piece here? The security guard's played by Mark Ruffalo. I'm sorry. It's
What?
awful. It's Mark Ruffalo.
That's probably why they spent all their budget on him.
I know, right? So the script is bad, which makes his acting bad. It's just, ugh, it's an awful movie. I hate it so much.
So duly noted, don't watch it. Got it. I'll give you
I said
one.
earlier, like, I'll be sorry if somebody like loves these movies, but I'm not even sorry. I just want to be like, what do you see in it? What did I miss? I hate it.
One movie I don't quite understand how it's classified as a Christmas movie, because like there's like no Christmas to me other than the setting of snow on the ground. Die Hard, which I know some people are like, yes, it's a Christmas movie. And then there's people like me that are like, I don't get it.
It's a Christmas movie.
Maybe I haven't watched it enough to really feel the Christmas.
Doesn't it happen around Christmas though?
It happens around Christmas, but you know, when I
Yeah.
hear Christmas, I think of like, oh, sitting around the Christmas tree, getting ready for a meal, you know, good tidings, and there's just like bullet, gun, you know, and
Is
Die Hard.
visiting his estranged wife and 2 daughters on Christmas Eve. It's a Christmas movie.
Awkward, like crickets, Nathan. Put some crickets in there.
I
Yeah,
can understand,
I'm not
but
a
I
huge
also
fan.
don't, because I believe it's a Christmas movie. Same
Yeah,
with Gremlins.
like
I feel like people tell me all the time that Gremlins isn't a Christmas movie, and I'm like, yes, it is. So like, I mean, I get it.
yeah, I'm just like,
I
don't know, maybe it's because
acknowledge
I
that
like
you do.
Gremlins more.
But yeah, like every year at the library, we put out all of our Christmas movies so that people have like easy access to find it. Because it's the time of year when like that's what people want to watch. And we always put Gremlins out. We always put Die Hard out because Christmas movies. I understand.
Our friendship has just been like severed
just
off that one comment.
I
could never.
No, I feel like everybody's entitled to their opinion. And like people love movies that I don't, and vice versa. So like, I don't know. I think there's like a huger, that's not a word, but I mean it. There's a huger community out there of people that like will fight you on whether or not Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I have patrons come in here that see it out and they're like, but they're just like, thank you. You put it out because you know it. And I'm like, I'm just keeping the people happy. You know?
We're non-biased.
So, yeah.
Try to be.
We'll put it all out there. We own 2 of the other movies that I absolutely hate around. They're Christmas movies and I just hate them. We actually own here at the library. And I know some people like one of these, and it's called Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, with
Mr. Terminator. It's awful. And then they did a second movie, and it has Larry the Cable Guy.
You gotta get that doll. Gotta get that doll.
The first one was awful. I just don't understand what anybody saw in it. They're fighting over a plastic action figure.
I would just tell them, nope, right now.
Just be like, hey, it's not here. And the other one,
I'm sure they'll restock.
It has the same thing that the other one I was telling you about with Mark Ruffalo. They got big name actors, and so the script is awful. There's like this one point where I think it's supposed to be they're like looking into Santa's Workshop or something, but the animation they use for it is so low budget, it's terrifying. It's called Christmas in Wonderland, and it has Patrick Swayze and Tim Curry. That's a weird mix already. But like
I might just have to watch it out of curiosity because I don't know if I've ever heard of Christmas in Wonderland.
We own it at the Elmore Library, and it's so bad. And I feel bad because like, hey, you're big name actors, but wow, you were handed a plunker. It's bad.
Well, I know my husband, him and his friends, they like to recommend bad films, or they'll be like, worst movie, 10 out of 10 would recommend. And I'm
like it's bad, you have to watch it.
Yeah, this would be one of those.
Yeah, it's bad. You should probably watch that.
I would love to watch this one and then like figure out, how it goes.
Why it's so bad. Yeah, like animation's scary. And then the last one I have on my like hated it list is Christmas Do-Over, which is basically just Groundhog's Day in Christmas form, and Hallmark, and what's that other channel that does those kind of movies?
Lifetime?
Pixel. Yeah, Lifetime, and I know Pixel does them too. Everybody's done it now. It's Groundhog's Day, but in Christmas form, where like they get stuck reliving the same day until they get it right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if I've seen that one. I'm trying to like recall, but I've seen like Groundhog's Day and stuff like that. And they've done it like transition it to like horror and different things.
Oh yeah, they have. This one, let me see if I can find it on here. It's a 2006 film. And so Kevin writes jingles for a living. He's divorced and a terrible dad. When he ruins Christmas Day by attacking Santa, Jesus, and Mary, the universe takes revenge by forcing him to relive the same day over and over again until he learns to be a good person.
Wow.
That sounds really scary, but I think there was a festival. There's like a Christmas festival that his family goes to all the time, and he like attacked the nativity scene. And so the universe got mad at him. But there's just, it's bad. And he is like a terrible father, so like his ex-wife is now dating someone else, and he's like trying to really make a good impression on the son, right? Like he wants to be a good stepdad if he, ever makes the point where he proposes or whatever. And Kevin forgot to buy his son something, so he just randomly went to a store and bought something wrapped, and it's an easy bake oven. So as he starts reliving the day over and over again, he steals the new boyfriend's present and switches the wrapping paper so it looks like the boyfriend got the son an easy bake oven. And he's like so adamant, like, no, I didn't do that. I swear I didn't do it. And clearly he sees that the present that Kevin got him was the one that he actually bought. It's bad. And it just like, so many days. He's just like ruining lives, but obviously he just restarts the same day when he goes to sleep.
Wow. So. That kind of this isn't quite the same, but it's kind of like sort of how the movie ends, because like everything goes back to normal. Do you ever remember a movie? It was on Disney Channel called The Ultimate Christmas Present. And so these kids stumble upon Santa's like winter machine. So like snow falls at the drop of a hat with this machine. And so like elves are trying to track down these kids, and then Santa gets involved because he needs the machine. Yeah, and it's so interesting, and like they were told not to mess with it, and of course they were a little naughty, and they messed with it, and then
I wonder if I watched that because it sounds really familiar. Like I remember seeing previews for it or commercials for it. I've probably seen it.
Who's in it? Hallie Hirsch. Oh, Brenda Song's in this one when she was really tiny.
Oh. It sounds really familiar.
Breslin, the one elf from Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm.
He's in that one too.
Okay. Weird.
That one's like a nostalgia of like, I think I like to say we grew up in like prime time Disney Channel. Like
we did.
I know I said it at the last podcast. However, when I found out Disney remade Under Wraps and put a new version on Disney Plus instead of the original, I was quite upset because why are you gonna mess with it? But they
Mm-hmm.
messed with it, and I feel like they would do that with this movie as well
I
eventually.
also wonder about remakes. Are they trying to, because like you said, we kind of lived in like prime time. We had the best TVs and movies and stuff. Are they remaking stuff so it appeals to kids today, but also tries to get a little bit of that nostalgia feeling?
I would
Like
agree.
they want kids to enjoy what happened in the 80s, but they're modernizing it all. Because I didn't watch it, but Disney Plus had come out with a TV series version of Turner and Hooch, which is kind of
Yeah, I saw that.
so kind of like that same feel how they did it. Because like the original movie, that's not something you'd really want kids to see, and it's sad. It ends really sad, and like they're tracking drugs the whole time. It's not really a kid movie, but like the Disney Plus version is probably more family friendly. It's got more like involved with dogs and families and like I don't know, like they're modernizing it, but they're taking the spin off of something that was an older movie that was still a
Absolutely.
classic movie.
Absolutely. And I think though with Disney, like how you're saying, like the original was not at all what they portrayed on Disney.
No.
I had an English teacher, he called it Disneyfication. And it would be where Disney would take like something really terrible and then they would put that magical spin on it, which is
Yes.
true. It's all magical, no joke, but it's like they make it more friendly for all ages.
That's probably true for half of what they wrote, though. If you read any of the original princess stories, Sleeping Beauty, like Snow White, The
Little
Little
Mermaid,
Mermaid, oh
she
my
dies.
gosh, it's awful. Just some of the stuff that happens. Rapunzel's is probably one of the worst. And like the
Maybe we should do a
prince,
podcast on these.
we will actually. I'm gonna write that down
I was just gonna say,
because
I have my pen in hand.
Disneyfication is a real thing, and that's something we should definitely talk about because the original stories are so dark and creepy. It's
Oh, for
nothing like
sure.
what you see on Disney.
Absolutely. And I hope people realize, like, when we talk about this, like, we love Disney, like, not opposed whatsoever.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I watch it all the time. I've been to Disney World 3 times. Like, I'm so there for it. But it's just something to kind of be aware of because, like, there's so many different things that go on, like, between marketing and things that you create and make sure it's family friendly. And if you're trying to reach a specific audience, like, there's a bunch of
Hmm.
stuff. It's
Well,
just fun
even
to talk
like
about.
um the movie that they made, Saving Mr. Banks, and it's
Oh,
like the more true story of when Disney talked to PL Travers about selling Mary Poppins, and
yeah.
the way they portrayed stuff in that movie was also not completely accurate, but it was a little more accurate. PL Travers hated the Mary Poppins movie because it wasn't her story. And Walt Disney kind of took some stuff. He took a lot of liberties and he warped her story in a way that she didn't like.
Absolutely. And I've read the books because there's more than just one book. Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole series compared like and I love the Julia Andrews version, but when you actually read the original, you're like, they're not even in the same field. Like they're three
Exactly.
fields
It's
over.
there's so much, there's such a deeper meaning that you can feel of what PL Travers was getting across when she wrote the books, and it's so different from the movie.
Hmm.
That's why I always say, like, if you really like the movie, read the book too. The book has so much more that you're missing.
Yeah. And if you don't know if it's a book, just, do a little, you can call us, email us, do a little Google search. Cause for a long time when I was a kid, I didn't know Mary Poppins was a book for quite some time. Cause when you're little
Same.
and you see those, you get
Yeah,
exposed traditionally to the movie first,
exactly.
then the book.
I was the same way. So
But
I
way
feel like
different.
we killed our energy. Our Christmas energy just like plummeted down a snowy hill or something.
Well, let's bring up these spirits then.
Do you have any more movies? I think I almost mentioned everything on my list.
I have finished my list as well. I hit
Oh,
my
okay.
faves. I've hit my thumbs down.
Yep. So if we missed
And
any out there that are your favorites, share with us in the comments or write us a letter. Obviously, we won't
Yeah,
probably read your letters until January, but it'd still be fun to read. If you want to
absolutely.
send us letters that we can read on the show, you can go to the link in our description or on our website. We've got a page on there with our addresses and everything on it. But we can't close this episode out until we do Word Scientist, which is probably like my
Eh,
favorite. It's just my favorite part to end the show with.
I don't know though. With our special guest last month, I genuinely was like, wow, that I would believe what you said. Like,
Thought he
so
knew exactly what it was. He's like, it's, dried fish, blah, blah, blah. It was so good. Like, he was just so spot on. I thought he just knew exactly what he was talking about.
yeah, hook, line, and sinker. He had me. I was
Right?
like, all right.
I know. I was convinced. So this month, the word is kitsch. I think I'm saying that right. I'm going to spell it. It's Kitsch.
And
Kitsch.
I believe I've heard this word in dialogue before. However, I believe it's a UK term.
Okay. It
Like, oh,
sounds,
that's so kitsch.
I know. So is it right? It reminds me of the word niche, which is just kind of like getting into the groove of something, right? Like a niche thing. That's what it
Yeah.
sounds like to me.
So I almost think this word is like the equivalent of like, oh, that's so trendy right now. Like, so kitsch.
Right.
Like,
I was gonna say,
so on point,
have you
on
ever heard
fleek.
somebody say like kitschy, like something's kitschy? Does that mean like
Mm-mm.
it's kind of like what you were saying, like it's trending or like,
Yeah, I would go along
like
with
shabby
that as
chic,
meaning.
sort of?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Something that people just are like, oh, I saw that, had to have it, bought
It's
it.
so kitsch. Kitsch. I gotta make sure I'm saying it exactly what I meant.
Properly.
Um, I don't want to say pronounce. Oh, definition. That's the word I'm looking for. Let me turn my phone up. I turned it all the way down. I want to see if we're saying it properly. Kitsch. Kitsch.
Hey,
So that's
nice.
pretty close. Kitsch. So it's art, objects, or design considered to be in poor taste because of excessive garnishment or sentimentality, but sometimes appreciated in an ironic or knowing way. We thought it was the complete opposite. We
Mm.
thought it was like smooth, trendy, everybody's into it sort of thing.
So complete opposite.
So, as an
Good to
adjective,
know.
it is considered to be in poor taste, but appreciated in an ironic or knowing way. As in, the front door or the front room is stuffed with kitsch knickknacks, little glass and
Oh,
glint ornaments.
huh.
Okay. So it's like your room's too full of stuff. What is some kitsch visual art? Dogs,
Ooh.
dogs playing poker.
Oh. I guess I wouldn't think of it like that being
Those
kitsch.
those little snow globes you get when you go traveling and you buy it from a tourist shop, so it's got the name of where you were at.
Ugh, come on now, everybody knows you get magnets. And then they accumulate on your fridge.
It's so kitsch. Oh
Because
my gosh, what are some of these things?
I think it's hard to collect snow globes like for places you've gone because not every place like makes a snow globe.
Guys, I kid you not. When you're done listening to this, go look at the visual art for this. It's crazy. There's like weird cats with big Victorian collars on. There's a sculpture. It's not really a sculpture, but like I guess a knickknack sort of porcelain thing. I don't know what it is, but it looks like this woman holding a monkey in her lap.
Huh.
I'm gonna try to hold my phone up to the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If I can get it to focus. What is that?
Wow. Hmm.
There's just some weird stuff on here. Like, I love
I
the
wonder
cats wearing Victorian collars.
what is the equivalent? So like what is the origin of that word? Is it still UK?
Let me go to
Because I
the
almost
wiki
wonder
page.
if something like the equivalent, like we would say in the States, is like, oh, that's what's the term for it? Eclectic.
Oh, I guess maybe it's a loan word from German.
Hmm.
Is a
I
term
guess I could
applied
see
to
that.
art and design that is perceived as naive imitation. So poor
Hmm.
taste. Um, Sorry for the dead silence. I'm trying to like read. So in the first half of the 20th century, kitsch referred to products of pop culture that lacked the depth of fine art.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. Since the emergence of pop art in the 50s, kitsch is sometimes reappreciated in knowingly ironic, humorous, or earnest fashion.
I wonder then. So I went thrifting one time and I was in Michigan and I found this poodle. It's an orange poodle. It was like porcelain. It was made in Japan. Like it said like 50s on it.
Yeah.
And it like had poodle fur and everything. It had like a necklace. Like the necklace should have been there, but it was missing. And I wonder if that's something they would call it kitsch, but I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, I have to have this random
Yeah.
porcelain dog.
It kind of does sound like that. Like you have little knickknacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
I had no
something of
idea. Wow.
tacky or lowbrow quality or condition.
And
Um,
this is why we look up the definition so we can spare everyone at home the pain of using a term and then using it incorrectly and then looking silly.
oh, okay. So I was looking at Merriam-Webster too. So it was borrowed from the word, I don't know how to spell it or say it differently, from German in the 1920s. It's been our word for things in the realm of pop culture that dangle, like car mirror dice, precariously close to tackiness. That's
Huh.
phrased really weird, but realm of pop culture that dangerous or that dangle close to tackiness, like car mirror dice are tacky, but they used to be really cool because everybody had them in their car. Um,
Absolutely. I think that it kind of honestly it depends on the time that you live in because
oh
certain
yeah,
things
and
like we have they're not considered that, but maybe 20 years from now they're
they
going to be like,
might
ew,
be.
you had that
Yeah,
whole
so
collection, like come on.
yeah, all those things can be described as kitsch and related, um, or kitschy, which I did say earlier sounds familiar to my mind.
Yeah.
They're clearly not fine art. They may appeal to certain tastes. Some folks delight in velvet paintings, plastic flamingos, dashboard hula dancers, and Carmen Miranda revivals.
Yes, we do because I have a Velvet Elvis. So
There's that
yes,
Velvet
yes, we
Elvis in
do.
her office. I know I saw that. I'm like, I have to read this because of her Velvet Elvis. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a certain taste, but I feel
My
like,
grandma knew what was cool in her time, and then I got to inherit it.
yeah, I feel like over half of the population, it's got to be over half, has something that was considered tacky or is now considered
Absolutely.
tacky and quiche in their house, in their possession, in their car. Everybody's got one. Or if you go
Oh,
traveling
easily.
and you pick up those really awful fridge magnets or the little snow globes and like you look like a real tourist buying that stuff, but everybody does it.
Absolutely. I think that's the best part. Like I grew up in a tourist town and I'm like, ooh, I get to be the tourist. This is exciting.
I know, like I love going, like if you shop anywhere, you go to like the gas stations and they've got little magnets and stuff and you're just like, I was here. That's kind of cool.
Heck yeah, I've bought one for every state that Michael and I have been in. Like it's just something fun.
Well, it's funny, well, I guess it's been a couple months ago now. We were in Indiana and we stopped at a gas station. They had all those little magnets and everything. And my sister's like, who really buys these? Who travels from far away and goes to Indiana? And I'm like, your family that doesn't live in Indiana, I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone might want that magnet. Someone that's, traveling and wants to hit every state, they're going to buy it.
Yeah, it's just something fun. It's typically not that inexpensive. Just cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Everybody's got something quiche in their house. I don't think I'm saying it right.
Absolutely.
Is it kitsch? I'm saying quiche, like it's an egg
I think it's
souffle.
kitsch, yeah. I think you're on the money of kitsch.
Yeah, kitsch, not quiche. It's not eggs.
No, I could go for a quiche.
I know, it sounds good, right?
I do love a quiche.
I do love a good quiche.
Well, you can all have that for breakfast on Christmas, Kwanzaa, whichever holiday you celebrate. Have something delicious to eat. Maybe a nice cup of tea in the morning, coffee. Maybe you like to have milk, eggnog.
Eggnog,
you know?
Always eggnog.
I am not a fan of the eggnog.
I used to think it tasted like nail polish, but I've grown accustomed to that flavor. Yummy nail polish.
Love that.
Love me a good cup of nail polish in the morning.
Wakes you right up.
It does.
But since we won't see everybody until and hear from everyone for the new year, we all hope you have a fabulous Christmas or whichever holiday you celebrate and enjoy your family, whatever you're doing.
Lots of holiday movies and eat tons and tons and tons of delicious sweet food.
Absolutely. And if you guys watch the movies we've talked about, whether they were on the naughty or nice list, let us know, reach out. We're pretty much at work every day.
Yeah. And if someone else has seen the Mark Ruffalo movie and you liked it, tell me why, because I'm curious. So send me an email or a text message or come in and talk to me. I gotta know that I'm not the only person out there that watched that movie and hated it. So yeah, we're always here for you at the library. We are closed holidays, but we will look forward to seeing everybody any time of the year. And we won't be back on the podcast until the New Year's, and we look forward to it. So,
2022, we're coming for you.
Oh my God. Am I even ready? I don't know.
I'm not.
We have tons of fun, new, exciting things to talk about in the new year. And just like we were talking earlier, and we came across another subject that we're definitely gonna try to hit this new year, talking about Disneyfication and things like that. So definitely looking forward to that. Being back here and you guys listening to us and seeing us. I'm so bad at intro or like outros. I just want to keep talking and making it sound good, but my brain's like, shut up. Nobody wants to listen to this anymore.
Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining us for another Harris-Elmore and Genoa's Libraries podcast with me, Ariel, and Sierra.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next
year.
Later.